Up, y'all? Today I'm not going to be in such high spirits as I'm speaking to you, and I'm not even going to make this video very long and go into a lot of details about it, but I'm pretty sure that we just welcomed the opening of the seals, and the first plague is here right now. Now, many people keep looking around outside and saying that all these little gnat looking bugs that we see flying around are gnats and they're normal. And I'm here to let you know those are not gnats and those are not normal. These are actually called aphids, and they're a parasitic arthropod. And what they do is they're among the most destructive for plants, and they're a fear for many growers. They cause yellowing, malted leaves, stunted growth, curled leaves, browning, low yields, and even death in plants. And not only does it do this to plants, it does it to trees, it does it to leaves, weeds, grass. I mean, you name it, anything green on the earth, these things attack. Now, I'm going to show you some videos here in a minute that I took personally from around my house and around my city where these things are just out of control. But first, I just want to give you a little bit of detail of what these things actually are and why they're such a hassle. Now, I was at the natural grocery store yesterday, and I was asking the lady there, because they deal with a lot of farmers and a lot of growers and a lot of things that have to do with outside. So I asked her if she was familiar with these bugs, and she told me yeah. And I asked her if she realized the overpopulation of them going around outside. And she's like, I didn't really notice it, but now that you said something, there was a bunch of farmers in here earlier complaining, saying that they're out of control and they need some spray because it's damaging the crops. Now, this is right here in my own city. The farmers are starting to get worried, and it says right here, they are a fear of many growers. And I'm getting ready to tell you why. They're plant lice. They're a superfamily of insects that have over 4,000 species of parasite. There are many different colors, but they basically get named off of what food or fruit or plant or whatever that they like to go to. So that's why there's so many different ones, but they're all damaging. It goes on to tell you about how they do exactly what they do. It allows them to suck the nutrients and stuff straight from the roots of the plants. And then they excrement on the plants this waxy pollen stuff that stops the plant from absorbing all the sunlight. This is their life cycle. They survive the winter as eggs, and then they grow. They're born from the eggs, and several more generations are born during the spring and summer. They live 25 days, during which time they can produce up to 80 new aphids. Spring and summer reproduction occurs asexually without males. That means they can just lay eggs. But not only can these things, male and female, lay eggs, they can skip the whole laying egg part and birth live bugs. But it says right here that aphids can be winged or wingless. Usually the first generation to emerge from winter eggs are wingless. However, after several generations, there could be a lack of space on the host plant. This triggers the birth of a generation of winged aphids, which can migrate to other hosts. Some species of aphid develop only on a plant or a particular species. The most common that attack crops are heterocoelous aphids, which means that they feed on different plant species. They reproduce sexually at least once in their lives, start their cycle when the winter eggs hatch on the primary host. The primary hosts are usually annual weeds, shrubs, or trees. He goes on to say that they reproduce without fertilization, then give rise to a generation of winged females that migrate to a secondary host that is usually a cultivated plant. In this new environment, the aphids reproduce asexually for several generations of females until the arrival of autumn. Now let's see what it says about the direct damage. It weakens The removal of the sap from food weakens the plant and causes a metabolic imbalance, twisting of the leaves, and in extreme cases, leaf loss. Leaf loss affects the quantity and quality of the final harvest. They also introduce toxins into the plant, systematically altering its development. Indirect damage. The honeydew secreted by the aphids is an ideal culture medium for various fungi, which form a barrier on the leaf, stopping it from taking in all the sunlight that hits it. The most harmful consequences for this crop is the transmission of viruses. Aphids can transmit dozens of viruses from a diseased plant to a healthy in a few seconds, especially through the wing generation. The biggest problem with viruses is that there is no remedy for them, so that the infection of a plant is not tolerant or resistant to the virus, it leads to inevitably a decline in the final production. In a way the way to understand the degree of danger that the virus transmitted by orphids may represent and to choose an appropriate method of prevention is to understand the mechanics by which these viruses are transmitted. But they basically stick their beak in, they suck out everything, and sometimes they end up with viruses. They fly to a new plant, and then boom, there it is. They drop it on there. It just goes on to tell you how to get rid of them. But it also tells you that these are it's long-term effect. There is no fixing the effects that these have on the plants and the vegetation and the wild crops. It says winged aphids are especially dangerous for your crops as they destroy plants much faster than regular aphids. To know when winged aphids are flying over your crops, you can use sticky yellow traps in the air and place water traps on the ground. The water traps consist of a yellow plate containing 2 fingers of soapy water. In addition to monitoring insect numbers, they can keep a large proportion of aphids from ever reaching your crop. So it just talks about how bad they are. And then on this other page that I was looking on about these, it tells you how many of them they are. It says, note, as they feed, aphids secrete large amounts of a sticky fluid known as honeydew. This sweet goo drips onto plants, attracting ants and promoting a black sooty mold growth on leaves, cars, and lawn furniture that are infested trees will also be covered with this sticky fluid. Now, have you guys been noticing all the little sticky dots all over your windshields and the sides of your cars? And I mean, it's out of control. There's little sticky, and you try to wipe it off with your windshield wipers, and what does it do? It just grinds across them. It's all hard and sticky. It won't even come off. It says most aphids do not need a mate in order to reproduce, as they produce live young rather than eggs. It says that they have many overlapping generations per year, and so that means they populate pretty fast, because within a couple of weeks of one being laid, another one is populating. Now we'll go on here and I'll show you the long-term effect. Like, I'm serious, you guys. I really think that this is the plague. I mean, this is going to destroy the trees. It's going to destroy the crops. It's going to destroy everything. We won't be able to grow. It especially attacks new and young life. I'm getting ready to show you guys some pictures that I took. You can see these pictures here just straight off the internet, but I'm getting ready to show you some that I took directly from my own backyard. See, they don't even give you any real information about these things. It's crazy because you got to go dig around and find this shit out for yourself. Look at that. Look at
like that everywhere.
Did you see the plants back there?
It's never like that.
No, this is not. This ain't normal.
But we are in where all these old ass trees are.
No, I don't care. Don't have nothing to do with it. Don't even say it. Yeah, it's all over.
Because some people like spray shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're trying to eat.
Yeah, they are. They're eating the grass and shit. That's why they're landing on us. Look, that's what's landing all over us. You know they transport viruses too to plants, from one plant to another, and it kills them. Stunts their growth. No, they're not. Doesn't have nothing to do with that. They're bad because they killed off the mosquitoes.
Yeah, we could thank FEMA and the U.S. government for that. They just sprayed all them damn chemicals, that dibrom, which is a category 2 neurotoxin, and it's extremely harmful to aquatic life and harmful to humans. As far as some of the side effects are coughing, wheezing, hardness to breathe, runny nose, stuffy nose, congestion, irritability, loss of concentration, inability to learn, eye irritation, skin rash. I mean, these are just some of the minor, I guess they're called minor. To me, I don't think any of this shit is minor. But and this shit goes all the way up to cancer. But yet FEMA and the U.S. government have the nerve to tell us it's not harmful to us. But if you go on a scientific website right now and look up the chemical dibrom, D-I-B-R-O-M, that's the chemical they sprayed. And you can go right on the fucking Texas government website and it will tell you that. And the scientists will tell you it's classified as a category 2 neurotoxin. It even says in the handling instructions that you should not handle that stuff without having ventilator mask on, wearing gloves, and protective glasses. But they say it's okay that they sprayed it in the air to kill the mosquitoes, and that's okay. It isn't going to hurt anything. That shit's extremely harmful to soil and game life. So how is it not toxic to humans too? Now, the reason why I'm telling you about that is because they just sprayed for the mosquitoes in Harvey with that chemical that spreads easily through the air and can carry great distances, is another thing that scientific website will show you. But the reason why I'm telling you that is because mosquitoes help to combat this problem right here. When they kill these things, they hunt them down and they kill them. And they stop them from doing this destruction and damage. But since they sprayed for all those mosquitoes, and I'm sure not only mosquitoes in Texas died on contact from this stuff, mosquitoes everywhere died because the stuff carried through the air, which probably explains the metal taste that people have been having in their mouths for the last few weeks or a month or couple months, which has been happening to me for a little bit longer than that. But either way, like, this shit is really going on. This shit is really happening. And this is an attack. This is an attack on us. How are we going to grow food or anything? Where's the oxygen going to come from if all the plants and the trees die? We need plants for the carbon dioxide. It has something to do with the CO2 and the oxygen. I'm not a scientist. I don't know exactly the whole gist of it, but I do know that they are required to sustain life. And there's an all-out assault on them right now, and all you have to do is walk outside and walk around your yard and you will see it for yourself. Go around your city and you will see it for yourself. Now, I really believe this is the beginning. This is the plague right here. These will destroy all the green and the plants. You notice this year the plants have been excessively dried out and the grass hasn't really been growing like it should. And all these people who got these beautiful green yards because they fertilized, you're a fucking jackass, because the fertilization that you're using is way worse and causes this problem to be way worse. And you can see that right on the website that's all about aphids. You guys really need to start paying attention to your surroundings and what's going on. A lot of you older folks are the reason why this shit is so bad right now, because you was too worried about all the new shit coming out and not paying attention and not teaching us what to look for. It's time to get wise, you guys. The time is running out fast.